Hello, is this thing on? What's up, guys? It's your favorite mystic, the Siren Sims, back with another video. Now, this is the long-awaited Bryan DiMartino and Mike Konietzko video. It's not going to be that long, probably just over 20 minutes. And I don't necessarily have a ton to say, which is why it's not going to be that long. It's just a simple opinion. You all can these are my disclaimers. You can disagree with me, all right? You can type in their names onto Google and look everything up for yourself, okay? You can look everything up, see that I have a point, and still disagree and say whatever you want to say. Why? Because we all have our own free will. So it's just my opinion that I've garnered over the years. So this is not something that I figured out as soon as Legend of Korra came out, or as soon as the show was done, or as soon as I stopped being a kid and I could do it. This is not something that happened immediately. It's happened a little bit over time. Like, as I would watch YouTube videos and people would give me pieces of their interviews, you know, as I saw them in interviews, as I read an article or two, and one by one, as I got more discrepancies within their work, the things that they would say and the stuff that I would see would start to line up, and then I came to certain conclusions. Now, this isn't a who's right, who's wrong. This is my personal opinion. I'm not putting this video out there so that you guys can hate them or whatever. I'm putting this out there so that if I make an Avatar video, or more likely a Legend of Korra video that's a little bit more negative, or a video about some of the comics that, you know, maybe one or two comics I didn't like, or when I start to say some of these statements that I'm going to be making in this, I want you to understand that this is just coming from everything that I've gathered and put together, and it's not me trying to say that they're terrible. Alright? Alright. So, number one, number two, they are like a one-hit wonder. Now, what do I mean by that? One-hit wonder depends on the mode that the thing is being done in and the genre. So one-hit wonders in music are like people who just made one good album, or more than likely they made one good song that did really, really well, and after that all their other songs flopped. Doesn't matter if they have a small group of fans that love everything they do. It's a one-hit wonder because only one thing they did had mainstream success. Like MC Hammer is considered a one-hit wonder because we know one or two MC Hammer songs. Now, I claim, it's just a claim, I think that Bryan and Mike are one-hit wonders because they're only able to do one good version of the different forms of media. They did one good TV show, which was Avatar, right? They had one good comic run through. And when I say one good, I mean I might like a little bit of the stuff that's some of the other comics, but there's only one comic that I'm like, this is up to the level of the show. They had one good comic, which was the Search, right? And now they're coming up with 3 movies. I predict, I hope so, because to be honest, I feel like all 3 of them are going to be bad. But I predict that because they are one-hit wonders, only one of the 3 movies that are going to come out, all 3 of them have stupid premises, by the way. I don't know why they're making movies about any of these things. But only one of those 3 movies are going to be good, because they are only able to do one good thing per form. One good TV show, one good comic book run, and possibly one good movie. I'm not seeing them being able to do anything else. I know what you guys are going to say, Korra was good. Korra was okay. And that's me being nice. Korra was not good. Let me tell you how my brain process works. A lot of people call things good as like a lower leveling. Me, good is a compliment. Great is higher than good. Amazing is higher than great. Incredible is higher than amazing. And tier, like S tier or whatever, is higher than all of that. So if I said something is good, that means that it's a big compliment to me. I just don't give the word good to everything. That's just how I am. So I feel like they're one-hit wonders because they were only able to make magic per certain form of media once. One good TV show, one good comic run, and possibly one good movie. I could be wrong about the movie, which is why I'm saying possibly. Now, how did I come to that conclusion? If you could see my Legend of Korra videos, I'm not very fond of the show, and I have a lot of criticisms. Yes, I like some of the villains, and I said some good things because those things are true, right? Whether or not a show is good or bad, it doesn't negate facts, right? But the thing is, no matter how good those things were, the whole thing put together, there was just too much nonsense. I see the thing is, the nonsense was big things and little things. Tiny things like the bending, big things like the lore. All those things were done dirty in a way and retconned and put back together and not read well because they didn't know if they're going to have a season, blah, 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 cry. Put together to make Legend of Korra not good, not great, just okay. I used to call it a dumpster fire, but now I'm just going to say it's okay. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. It's okay. So that is why I think they're one-hit wonders. Number 3, the only reason they were able to have one-hit wonders is because of a special formula. And that is idea to writer ratio. Now, this is something that I came to realize about them a few years ago. And this is one of the reasons why you're going to see my very unpopular opinions about the Netflix show. Aaron Ehasz was a very big reason why that show was good. And plus some of the directors and stuff like that. Because as I'm rewatching certain people watch Avatar, they can see certain differences based on the directors for episodes. Aaron was the head writer. So I'm sure Mike and Bryan gave him the ideas, gave him a draft of the scripts, and then he expounded on things. And he had a team of writers that also expounded on things. And he would bring in other writers, or they would bring in other writers who would expound on things. And there comes the incredible show of Avatar that we know today. When Legend of Korra was made, they had already fallen out with Aaron. Yes, I'm saying fallen out. You can look it up. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing up Aaron is because he's doing other shows on Netflix. I think he's doing The Dragon Prince. I don't really watch it because it's like more for kids, and I'm kind of growing out of that just a tiny bit. But like, I watched a couple episodes with my family because my little brother was watching the show, so I just sat there and watched. Even though it is for a younger demographic, it is written so well that even though I didn't continue watching the show, I asked for an update. I asked my brother, I was like, oh, what happened here in this episode you're watching? What's been going on? You can tell that Aaron is the head writer. Now, head writer does not mean that he wrote every single thing that was good about Avatar: The Last Airbender or Dragon Prince. But it means that he has final say, right? It means he looks over everything, and it means that he is the one who is employing or looking over the employment of the people who are writing the masterpieces. So even if, let's say, some of my favorite parts of Avatar: The Last Airbender weren't all Aaron, I'm sure he has something to do with the people that were writing all those incredible things. So with Bryan and Mike and Legend of Korra, they obviously didn't have that. And they didn't need Aaron, you know. I guess anybody can be replaced. But the issue that I had here is that they couldn't find anybody good enough to replace him to make this thing good. I read an article recently where they said people were mad at Korra because she was a girl. I'm like, first of all, that's like a 10% of incels. 90% were upset because they're right, because for some reason people expected to see Aang. I was never one of those people that was upset because it wasn't a continuation of the first show. That was never why I was upset with this show. And you know what? I might make a video about why I was obsessed with the show, but that wasn't why. I was upset because you gave us all of this stuff that could have been good and just squandered it. So because people didn't have the language to say what the problem was, they ended up saying all of this homophobic, misogynistic stuff. When really, and this is why I have to speak up, because not a lot of girls speak up about this. It's mainly guys, which feeds into the whole, it's just homophobia and misogyny. But for me, it's like, I'm a black woman. Yeah, no homophobia, no misogyny. The show is just not as good as y'all think it is. And that is why I'm going to make a couple more videos, because I'm not going to quiet down for y'all. Like, it's just not happening. Sorry, not sorry. Now, number 4, Aaron Ehasz. Now, when I say that they had beef and they came out with him, here's how you know. I think some of the tweets are deleted, but if you are an Avatar head, you've heard about Aaron Ehasz saying certain things about what he would have wanted to do with the show, right? Changes he would have made if they had a season 4. One of them including something that I heard a rumor. No, Allison. I heard a rumor they're going to be incorporating into this new Zuko movie. Now, what Aaron said is that if they had allowed them to have a season 4, he would have started the Azula arc, where he maybe might have given her a redemption arc. Now, isn't it funny that now for this Zuko movie, which is supposedly after the 100-Year War, let me not complain about that at this second. It's supposedly after the 100-Year War, right? This same movie that's coming out is alleged to have the Azula redemption arc. Now, one of the reasons why I'm saying this, because I know a lot of people don't want it or do want it. Like, people are pretty divided on this topic. I don't really know why. Like, you know, she obviously has problems that weren't exactly all her fault. You know, so her having an arc is plausible, and her staying evil is plausible. She really could go either way, so I don't know why we're complaining about that. But when Aaron made that tweet saying that he would have given Azula a redemption arc, Bryan and Mike came out with their own tweet saying that that was a lie and that they were never considering that. Why would they call their head writer a liar? Because there's something going on behind the scenes. There is some beef behind the scenes that we as the viewers were not privy to. And now, because of whatever that beef was, Aaron did not come back to help them with Legend of Korra. And it shows. And I'm only saying Aaron as kind of like the mascot for all the good writers that were involved. And hey, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe some of the writers that were there for the original show did come back for Korra. But if that's true, it only proves my point that maybe Aaron was the catalyst. Because if he had to look over everything, I don't know who was looking over everything for Korra, because some of that stuff did not look right. Especially in season 2. And even people who love Legend of Korra all agree we don't really be talking about season 2 like that. We don't. But anyways, yes. So, Bryan and Mike had beef with Aaron. And when that sunk into me, I realized that I couldn't trust them. Because it looks like they wanted their ideas to be put out there more than they wanted the writing to be good or even just make sense. So when you watch Legend of Korra, you see a lot of ideas, right? And I disagree with a lot of the ideas that I saw. But if you have decent writers, it at least makes sense where people can't argue. I can argue about Legend of Korra all day because the writing didn't make sense. If the writing at least makes sense, I would have to shut up and just be like, well, I'm probably going to say I didn't really feel for this, but I can't say anything. Well, no, I can't even have that level of humility because none of it made any sense. So, I feel like I don't trust them because they seem to be a little full of themselves, you know, where it's like they just feel like they are the authority on this and that nobody can help them. And that's just my thoughts on that section. Let's get into Aaron Ehasz a little bit more. When it comes to the Dragon Prince, right, and this is hashtag justice for Aaron Ehasz, because when I brought this up to a friend of mine, a cousin of mine, she brought up that he wasn't the only one writing, it was a bunch of other people. You know, she is a Korra supporter. I am not, so we disagree there. But for me, it's not necessarily that Aaron is better than everybody else. It's that the formula of Aaron with all of everybody else, it's like the chemical X. Aaron is the chemical X, the sugar, spice, and everything nice. And without him, you just have a dry cupcake. That's what Korra was. A dry cupcake instead of a Powerpuff Girl. And here's what I'm saying. Like, if you watch Dragon Prince, he's the head writer of that too. And the guy who played Sokka is also in that show as well. You can very much see that even if he is just helping other writers, right? He's not doing most of the writing, he's helping other writers. Whatever team he comes with, or whatever team he assists, that team is always top tier. And I feel like if I was Bryan and Mike, I would have stuffed my pride to the side so that I could have top tier writing. You know, even if it's just to have Aaron look over whatever writers we want to bring in, just to make sure that it fits the vision, I would stuff my pride to the side. That is misogyny to me. Because you made this Avatar universe suffer because of your misogyny, and I am not with that. I'm really not with that. Now, let's talk about the Netflix adaptation of Bryan and Mike. I'm not going to get into that too much because I'm going to bring it up in my Netflix adaptation video. Now, I was just like everybody. Well, let's not say that. Some people were not sure about the live action because of M. Night Shyamalan, which I get. But also, it's like, guys, you can't make the same mistake twice, or else it's obvious racism. You know what I mean? So, on that level, I was like, I don't know. But I was different from other people. I didn't know about this adaptation. Like, I was wary of it and like, don't do it. Because of Bryan and Mike. Not because of M. Night Shyamalan. Everybody else didn't want this adaptation because of M. Night Shyamalan. And for some reason, they believed that terror would strike twice. I don't know why people thought that. I thought, right? Because this is all after Korra. This is after everything. I thought to myself, yeah, when I was 14, I wanted Avatar to have a live action. But like, I am 19 now and I don't want this. Don't do it. Because I can't trust them. I can't trust that they are going to put all the right ingredients together to make this story make sense. To even just do the bare minimum and just expound on the story that's already there. I don't trust them. Did you see season 2 of Korra? Did you see that lore? That was horrendous. The way that they peeled back the gossamer curtains and destroyed all of the mysticism, all of the intrigue, and made all the magic look stupid and turned it into a good and evil complex. Like, no, we're not doing that. I didn't want to see it. But after they left, I got a little tiny fleck of hope. And you want to know why? I'm going to explain on this in the video, but because at least it's not canon. And I'm going to say what I mean by that a tiny bit, but I'm going to go more into it in my next video. What I mean is, whether it's good or bad, it's not canon. One of the issues I have with Korra is that, good or bad, everything is canon. So all the nonsense that they did, I have to be okay with it because it is a part of a universe that I already love. At least now that they're not a part of it anymore. If it's bad, it's not canon. So I'm not going to get as upset because it's not an official Avatar property in terms of everybody being completely a part of it and all of it being a complete lore matchup. And that's all I'll say. I'll get into that more in my upcoming Netflix adaptation video. But yeah, when they left the Netflix adaptation, I got more hope because I don't trust them. I felt like the way people feel about adaptations now, that's how I feel about all adaptations. And just because the creators were a part of this one wasn't going to make me like it anymore or any less. Like, nah. Like, I don't care if you're a part of it. I don't trust you. You don't have a track record of being so-so. Like, now you're good, now you're bad. Or now you make a show that's half good, half bad. Like, nah. This is not Katy Perry. We're not hot, we're not cold. We're not yes, we're not no. I need concrete. Concrete. And don't come at me with no mediocre Avatar from the Look, Netflix can be mediocre all they want. But for the creators to be mediocre, that's disrespectful. And I don't want to see it. And you guys have got to respect that. Alright? You just got to. Alright, so that is my initial thoughts on Bryan and Mike. And that is why I have my opinions that I have on Legend of Korra. Because I just saw that, you know, it just wasn't as good. It's as simple as that. It just wasn't as good. So I don't hate them, but I don't trust them. They're just like every other director out there to me. They don't have any special sauce where it's like, ooh, they're a part of it, so it's gotta be good. No, they're a part of it, so it's 50-50. It's so-so. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. They're one-hit wonders at best. And they need the right formula at least. And that's hard. You know, I'm not going to say that's easy for them. I'm sure it's very hard to be people that, like, we always have good ideas, but we don't always have good execution, because that's how they are to me. Like, they are the guys that always have a good idea, but execution, I don't know all the time. So even with the idea of a Zuko movie, it's not a bad idea, but I'm not with it, because who knows how they're going to execute it. A movie about one of the prior avatars, maybe Kyoshi, maybe Wan, maybe if they did an Avatar Korok movie, maybe then y'all would agree with me, because don't nobody care about Avatar Korok. But like, I didn't really care for any of those movies to come out. I'm just like, Jesus. I thought they were going to make new Avatar properties, and I would have preferred that, because then I could just ignore it, and y'all could claim that whatever new thing that comes out is even better than Korra or whatever, and I'll just let y'all have that. Because my beef is with the main show that I love and its half-baked sequel. I don't really care about anything else. They can do whatever else they want to do. I've lost faith in them, and that's just the fact of the matter. They're making a bunch of new animated shows and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, do what you gotta do. People still have faith in them because they're not paying attention to everything that has come out. All the tweets, listening to this video, and please hold out for the next few Avatar videos that will come out. Goodbye, Simmers.